they had breached the principle of trust.
Yes.
And so they wouldn't grant that audience. But Honorable Davimepo, you say that whatever decision Ghana takes has to be subject to parliamentary approval?
That's what I said. That is so. That is so. It has to come to Parliament because you see, to commit our army to go fight in Niger will come with very huge resource, which will be contingent on the public purse. So it has to come for parliamentary approval.
Do you have anything in the public purse?
Well, the public purse is the public purse. Even this morning, people are paying taxes.
Oh, okay.
So
there's something in there.
Now, I do not support the call by ECOWAS to deploy to Niger. You see, as a people in West Africa, we are fighting we are fighting for food security. We are actually plagued by food insecurity. In 2022, the World Bank has to give ECOWAS $350 million to improve our food security situation. $350 million. This year, just in May or April, Parliament have had to approve some loans for government, including $150 million to fight food insecurity or fight against food insecurity. We are borrowing to look for food to store for our people. We are hungry, and yet we want to go to war. A hungry army cannot win a war. We are people driving on an empty stomach. I am not concocting this. These are the facts. That as a nation we are actually borrowing to show up food for our people. And we are talking about going to war. Look, if you look at the Sahelian countries, beginning from Senegal, Mali, Burkina.
Yeah, the map that we
yes,
showed.
Burkina, Niger, Chad, all the way to Sudan. Burkina sits in the middle.
Yeah.
And Burkina is in support of the insurrection in Niger. So is Mali. Algeria has just declared that they will provide electricity to Niger for free. So if Nigeria cuts their source of power to Niger, Algeria from up north says they will supply downwards
For
free. They will
They feel the pain of Niger.
Thank you.
They feel it.
So within a week, hold on. I was quiet. Within a week, they are marshalling support. So ECOWAS should rethink this up. Look, ECOWAS has become made up of, some old men who themselves are not clean. A lot of the elections that put these people in office were conducted under very controversial circumstances. You are seeking, look, it's become a rendezvous of old men who are seeking to discipline combat-ready young men who are in uniform. They won't succeed. So the grandstanding approach to handling this matter should be discarded, and they should use tact and diplomacy, and get the deposed president out, and ensure that some roadmap will be agreed upon, and like they did in Burkina, so that elections can be held in the foreseeable future. This grandstanding want to deploy army. You Tinubu, you don't have your cabinet in place. You want to deploy army. No wonder said they shut him down. So it won't happen. You don't even have them. Look, now soldiers in a lot of countries like Ghana, they are not ready to go to some of these places and die very unreasonable death. They won't. Today themselves will not be ready. Look, what is the status of ECOMOG? We should be evaluating the work ECOMOG has done. ECOMOG has not succeeded in preventing coups. So when it happens, the crisis happens, they even move in. What has been the evaluation?
Okay.
We should think of how to ensure that there's sanity in Niger, so that the ordinary person walking the streets of Niamey will get food in the village. Niger is so vast. And the population is so sparse. From one city, one town or village to another, you can drive for 100 kilometers before you get to the next village. So when you have a country like that, whose population is sparsely located, it's important that we bring in emergency reliefs program for the people because of the crisis in the capital and in the country. So I would rather urge that we adopt a diplomatic approach to resolving the Niger crisis.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Nelson Roxon Dafiamekpo. So we will see whatever decision that is taken, and you are asking that whatever decision is taken actually comes before Parliament for approval.
Yes.
Now, let's go to the next and final issue relating to the Bank of Ghana, because today we know that the security chiefs of ECOWAS are meeting, so whatever happens, we get to know. This week, you, the minority, asked that the governor resigns because of the over 60
and the
billion
board.
And the board.
And the entire board.
The entire board. Now, you've extended it to the entire board of Bank of
yes.
Ghana. They should go because of the over 60 billion cedis loss that it posted on its books as at the end of 2022, as published. Take a look.
As we speak, the central bank has a negative equity of 55 billion Ghana cedis. Negative equity. Now, it means that they don't have any surplus, any money there. He's building a head office at a cost of $250 million. This simple means that he's printed additional money to finance the construction of the new head office. So this guy will not stop. And Prime said that it's the fastest growing building in Accra, project in Accra, in Ghana. So it will tell you that since he's the printer, he's only printing by the day. We are urging you all, colleagues, fellow Ghanaians, our brothers and sisters from the media, that join us in this call. It is for us to secure our country. We have to get this man out. Let us get a new governor, and let that governor come in and learn that the predecessor was pushed out for ABCD, so he will not go there. If we are not careful, and we are to allow this governor to stay in the office, what will happen is that we will set bad precedent for future managers to do same and to destroy our livelihood. He has depleted Ghana's reserve to about 1 week of import cover. The finance minister informed us that even with the IMF money, additional drawdown from the IMF, by the end of the year, Ghana's net international reserve will be about 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Is this the government want to keep in office? He has messed us up so much that we cannot wait to see his back. 21 days time, we'll say bye-bye to the country.
Okay, so that's Dr. Kesela Tofosin, the minority leader there. Honorable Fuseni, so the justification by the Bank of Ghana for this, this new head office, even at this time, what we're going through is that the old building cannot stand earthquakes and earth tremors. I mean, the concern here is an issue of the pressing needs we're faced with, the priorities as we speak. Can that be justified in any way, shape, or form because of the current exigencies of the time?
Alfred, I don't know whether you're limiting this whole thing to
no,
the office
we'll graduate
building.
to the, no, just
yeah, but I am aware that the central bank or the Bank of Ghana has been making attempts since 1990 to relocate from its current location. And I have a plethora and a lineup of attempts, places the bank has gotten, attempts to put up new buildings and all of that. And this earthquake thing is, I don't know where that one is also coming from. But
well, it's in their statement.
Hitherto, yes, I mean, it is one of the, but hitherto, the Bank of Ghana was very isolated, even on the high street. Now, one of the arguments also is that the central business district is caught up with the central bank. And I don't know how that threatens the security of the place. I'm not an expert. I recollect some time ago, its facility on the Spinters Road was probably the only up to about early 2000s. Now look at it, rather in the midst of a very fast-growing economic area. I don't know how, but I am aware that since 1990, the bank has been trying to relocate from its current place. It wasn't until 2020 that the current location was gotten through an executive instrument. Until 2020. I can tell you in 1990, they tried at one point. In 2012, there was another attempt by some company. In fact,
Okay.
they hackle over location with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and all of that. So I don't really think that
I think there's issues about the timing. It's not so much about whether or not they really have to do
so
this.
the timing, yes. That's why I'm telling you that over the last 30 years, the bank has been trying, making attempts, various attempts, and sometimes even at a cost to the state of trying to relocate. And I really can't see how, yes, times are tough. This project is supposed to be what, $250 million?
$250 million.
Yeah,
That's the
I don't
stated
know the
cost.
contractual implications. I'm not too sure. I've not seen the contract that who is building and what the effect could be if the project could be stalled. I don't know what payment has happened in the last couple of years. It's all quite kind of very, very, very swift. So for us to say that because of the times, this project should be stalled, I think that we really have to look at its implications. Would it also go into some other cost to the state if it's truncated? It's all things that
Another
we should
issue
be
is
looking at.
the writing of the 48 billion cedis debt owed by the government of Ghana to the Bank of Ghana. The issue raised
Alfred.
is whether the Bank of Ghana can do this without parliamentary approval. That actually can be done by the central bank without notification or approval by Parliament.
You see, Alfred, the central bank is not a typical commercial bank, EcoBank or Standard Chartered or the likes. It is the central bank's, the government's bank, is a lender of last resort. The bank was set up by an act of parliament, Act 612 as amended, right? It has specific rules that the central bank plays, amongst other things, right? Amongst other things is to do all other things that are incidental or coincidental to the efficient performance of its functions under the Act and any other enactment. The central bank is supposed to maintain stability in general price levels, support general economic policy, promote economic growth, effective and efficient operation of a banking and credit system, and then and also independent of institutions for the government or any other authority. Those were the objects of the central bank.
Okay.
So it is not a case of always taking up the profitability or otherwise, or looking at transactions in commercial sense. It is there to support this economy.
That I asked a specific
in all of
question,
this,
whether they can actually take such a decision of writing off the debt
in all of
without
this,
recourse to Parliament.
what the central bank is saying is that the minister came to Parliament. Mm-hmm. The minister sought the consent of Parliament to undertake a program, which is a debt exchange program.
Okay.
And as part of it, the central bank, being the government of the bank of the economy, it was part of the process. So the presumption is that once Parliament gave go ahead to the debt exchange program, it certainly will affect whoever are holding whatever securities, whether marketable or non-marketable. And that is the extent to which the DDEP affected the performance of the central bank.
Your statement is qualified, the presumption.
Yeah.
It does not in any way justify the Bank of Ghana's breach
But
of,
you see,
of
when-
section
when
53.
Parliament-
That does it. The presumption
when
doesn't
Parliament-
justify the breach.
When Parliament passes the budget, being it the policies underlining the fiscal policy of the government, or passes the appropriation,
Right.
anything that actually affects the appropriation, anything that affects the policies that have been approved by Parliament, is presumed to have been passed.
So, is this position by the Bank of Ghana, because this one that Honorable Fuseni is making reference to is captured in the Bank of Ghana's response to some of the issues you raised, that the finance minister in the 2023 budget statement to you, Parliament, mentioned that there was going to be a DDEP. And so does that justify the bank's breach of Section 53 of the Public Financial Management Act 2016, which specifically states what the Bank of Ghana should do in an instance like this?
It does not. And I'm shocked that Husseini, my brother, who is a finance person, who is me on the finance committee, who agree with this explanation from the Bank of Ghana. Bank of Ghana is simply running away from the crimes that they've committed against us as a people. Look, last year, auditors audited accounts of Bank of Ghana. Did you hear?
Yes. I've read all the reports.
Did you? What did they find last year? The auditors report. What did they find?
A debt.
No, they made profit. I think the year of 2021. They made
2021, they made a
profit.
profit.
Nobody cried. Nobody shouted. The Bank of Ghana made profit.
You see.
Hold on.
Roxanne,
Husseini,
Okay.
I was quiet.
I'm just providing you. I'm just providing you.
No.
I was quiet.
There's not much time.
I was quiet. The Bank of Ghana, when they are audited, they make profit. They haven't commended.
The bank is not set up for profit.
So can I make a point? So why declare profit if we are not set up to make
If
profit?
it happens to be that
Exactly.
it's pursuing its objects and makes
Exactly.
profit, so be it. Very good.
So exactly.
Very good.
Were you set up
Well
to
and
make
good.
losses?
They were not set up, but they were
I
set
am
up to
saying,
support.
were you set up? Is
No,
the Bank of
Alfred,
Ghana?
this is-
yes.
No, is the
No,
Bank
he's
of Ghana?
addressing it to me. That's
Is the
about
Bank of
my
Ghana
else I
set
wouldn't
up to
have.
make losses?
No.
Exactly.
No.
So when
But
you are
the
audited,
objects are
Okay,
different from
you've
profitability.
answered the
when you are
question.
audited
Thank you.
annually, Doc, Prof, and you make profit, we hail you.
Yes.
We encourage you to do more.
And you make losses, we talk about it.
Thank you.
It's that simple.
So the essence of this discussion is about the performance of the bank in 2022.
It could
Which,
be.
Husseini, don't heckle me.
Oh, I
It is
can't,
the
but I heckle
performance
Roxy.
of the bank in the year 2022 that has become the subject of this topical matter. How do you, over the past 5, 6, 7 years, how do you decline from a profit-making entity to such a colossal debt-incurring entity in a matter of 12 months? That is what has shocked the conscience of the nation. And what are the figures? We have figures such as 60 billion loss in one calendar year,
Financial year.
of one financial year. You have a negative net equity of in excess of 55 billion Ghana cedis. People are worried. You have a banking supervision bill in excess of 381 million. You have a travel bill of 97 million. You have a computer repair bill of in excess of millions. You are saying that within that time frame, for instance, your fees for your board of directors, you doubled it to 8.6 million a year. This is what people are questioning. You are further saying that your maintenance of vehicles is in excess of 131 million Ghana cedis.
And 95% of that was on fuel.
Please.
Okay, why you round up for me?
Let me do this.
You have 5 minutes.
And in all this, you're also commencing the construction of a head office at the colossal amount of nearly 3 billion Ghana cedis. Dollar equivalent of $250 million.
It does say.
All right?
Yes.
So we are asking questions. And this is the year that you participated in the DD for the government. You championed it. You asked people to tighten their belt. Investment that people did. Husseini, let me finish.
Oh, no, just
Husseini,
provide
let me
information.
finish.
People's
People's
round up for me.
investment. You encourage the government to say that
Roxanne.
don't pay them
Thank
when
you.
it is due. Extend it.
This building started in 2020 when there was no intention of DD.
As a bank with a conscience, you could have stopped it.
Do you know, I
And I hear this project is also for Aja. I hear this project
That's
is
why you're
also for
asking that the
Aja.
governor
Is that correct?
and the director should go.
Yes.
I thought
For
you
their
would think about the legal
performance. For their
implications.
You didn't give me the chance to
And let me
I should have thought about
conclude by
the
saying that.
implications.
Let me
Legal
conclude by saying
implications.
Thank
that
you.
there is no
Authenticating
earthquake
evidence.
report. There's no seismic report about the zone that the Bank of Ghana occupies, that is an earthquake zone.
I am
The
also
Supreme
telling you.
Court is sitting in that zone. The head office, which
Okay.
is as tall as the Bank of Ghana head office of the Ghana Commercial Bank, is sitting there. We have other state institutions. Barclays Bank is not far. That's APSA. It's not far from there. So
Thank
what
you.
is this
The
talk
Bank
about
of Ghana has
the
been
zone
there for
B?
60 years.
And
Dr.
so,
Entry.
no,
Sixty
that,
years.
that building,
And it's-
that
I think
building is
I'm
actually
like
a-
a
it's actually a colonial
Thank-
building.
Thank
We
you.
inherited it
They
as
are
independence.
operations.
I have
Thank
just 2
you.
minutes,
Thank
please.
you.
That
Thank
building
you.
is actually a colonial building. We
Let me,
inherited it
let
as
me make my
independence.
point.
said they are
Joe
operations
Biden,
about
Joe Biden will
The
call
Royal
this.
Bank of
Please,
England
thank
is still
you,
occupying
please.
the 100
I
year
think he gave me the floor now.
They have a lot of
He
annexes.
gave me the floor now, please.
Thank you.
Please.
Joe Biden will say that it's a bunch of malarkey. it's pure nonsense.
Yeah.
Let me put it in a blunt way. Yesterday I saw a post from Professor Jampo. What do they take us for? You make that loss of 60 billion Ghana cedis, which is $6 billion, and out of that, there 53.1 billion are losses from the domestic debt restructurings from the government. And you are saying you need another money to go build a new office? Our elders said that when you owe, you don't eat sardine. Is that not what they said?
Thank you.
So if you are giving us a debt and you want to go, I will use that money. We've got our priorities wrong. We have children going to school carrying their own furniture. We have children going to school walking that distance that they don't even have their own furniture. They don't even have
Sitting
school
on the
supplies.
floor.
Sitting on the floor. And you want a new office when you are giving us a debt of this amount? Let's be serious in this country. I'm tired of this.
Professor Enoch Opoku Enchi, I guess that there are many who would also side with this particular sentiment of what has to be done going forward.